Devon Rose itself was established in 2003 under its current guise, but prior to that the Dean family were into gamekeeping and butchering, slaughterhouses, farming, right back to the 1800s, and catering as well. And this was kind of a natural progression, really, Devon Rose, in terms of isolating ourselves down into one particular style of business, focusing predominantly on the top end of the market in terms of meats, having full provenance, proper status, these sorts of things. We were just ticking the right boxes at the right time, I think, with the consumer, and with not just with business consumers, but also with direct to market consumers as well. So the business has really developed from there. Some of the IT side of the business has come about because we have a necessity to fulfill a certain requirement and do it as efficiently as possible. Efficiency in terms of time, which then relates to costs for all sorts of reasons. Costs in terms of my ability to be able to actually go out there and generate business. You know, if I'm sitting here doing paperwork, that's less time spent with the customers, securing business, and also looking after the existing business as well. So it's really important across anything that we can do to try and make that as efficient as possible. And IT does help us in a lot of ways to do that. That's true in terms of not just the payroll, but the general account systems, the supplier invoices, the new business invoices, everything that you can kind of think of that has a bit of paper attached to it probably has an IT system that will actually help to speed it up. Well, I've got a snapshot really of the business across the board all the time. So literally, if I have a conversation with the accountant today and he says, what are your current sort of stat figures, maybe your profit and loss, what's your bottom line at the moment, I've got all those on hand immediately. And that's also true. You get a phone call from a client who wants to know where they are with a particular part of their account, one press of the button and it's just there. The time is obviously in learning a new system, so all these are big new systems for me to learn, and then the time is then in training the staff. But once that's kind of ingrained, then it definitely is a massive saving. It does make us hugely more efficient than we would otherwise be. The chances of mistakes being made are much minimised if you can only put in so many variables in a particular field, then you're kind of limiting your potential mistakes. With paper-based systems, there's addition problems, there's writing down issues, there's being able to read someone's handwriting and actually then maybe add up columns of figures and these sorts of things. There's all sorts of issues that potentially could go wrong with a completely human-based system. And so the IT, whilst it doesn't eliminate errors, it does cut down a lot on errors, which then, of course, has a back-end effect in terms of your profitability as well. I think probably one of the fundamental and the largest parts of our business base is formed as a result of our internet presence. And when we first started the business, we recognised really quite quickly that we needed some internet exposure. And we canvassed the wider community for a sort of online shop, and the result of that was we were getting quotes back from developers, anything from 7,000 up to 28,000 at the time for a fully commercial site, commercial website. And to be honest, you know, it was as a new business starting up, limited finances, not an awful lot of money to play with, etc. It wasn't something that we could afford and were prepared to finance. In November 2006, we pushed the website across finally to some developers, and now the website itself is very good functionally, both at front end and back end. It does extraordinary things that no software out there on the market could do, sort of off-the-shelf software. But we're starting to move all our documents off-site, away from our own hard disks, and onto a remote service provided by Google and MSN. And that means then that all of our staff, of course, can access all of those documents from wherever they are rather than have to come via the office. When businesses are attempting to grow, they're trying to integrate technology, particularly in terms of internet, getting their presence known on the internet. When we started the business, there was a drive towards paying for advertising, which was mostly led by me, despite the fact that the families had said, no, actually we shouldn't be investing in advertising. But I thought it was the way to go. So not only were we paying for magazine advertising, which was incredibly expensive, but then we started advertising online as well to get streams onto the website. And if there's one tip I would say is that don't pay for any form of advertising at all. Get out there and talk about it. It's far more effective. I would say that it would be realistic that none of the money that we spent in advertising generated any form of income.